Good morning viewers, it's me Paul again and welcome back to me rebuilding this Sony PCG-8Z2M laptop that my brother Joe gave me after an intermittent fault. So now we're going to attempt to put this back together again. So first of all I just need to clean this board up with my trusty gun air hoover. Where it's done to. Right, put that to the side. Right, so I've just blown some air on that. So next I just need to get this connection off, because when I put it back onto the plate, we'll just need to put a small connection back on, and it's really fragile there. So let me just put that to the side for a second. There we go. Just gently pull that off. There we go, there's the connection I needed to put this thing back in. There we go, that's that small connection where my thumb is. Right, so next we just need to get this back in this unit, but it has to be upside down, and it goes in this way round like that. But first I need to get these cables back on the bottom and top. So that one, that little diddly one, goes back on this little chip here. Let's just put that back in here. A little bit tricky because it's really fragile. Let's see if I can get it in. Really fragile this is. It's the most delicate connection I've ever seen. Right, that goes back there. And now we just need to do the reverse to get that part back on there without moving that too much. I just need to put that back in there. And the other thing is I can't disconnect this. Oh, I can, hang on. Right, now that I've pulled that out, let's put those screws back in. That's gone in. Where are those two screws gone? Let me just put that to the side. That's good, I can get that off. And then just put these screws back on. Just one, just make sure I don't push too hard. There's also another connection there I can see. That is, yeah, really close. So got to watch out for these ribbons as well. And we must remember to put that one back together. This connection here, that was the intermittent fault that we found earlier. So let's go ahead and put this back together again. So careful. So that needs to go behind there. Now I don't know what that connection is there. There's a connection right there. Right. Is it right? Because that needs to go upside down like that. And I believe that is a connection that I need to get. I think it's underneath, isn't it? Hang on. That one underneath. Yeah, I think that was underneath, weren't it? Yeah, it was. Let me just connect that one back in. soon find out if that's wrong, but anyway, that should be fine. There we go. So now I've just reconnected that little circuit in the corner there. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. And we'll just put this back into place. So that's the two corners. So we've just got to be so careful when putting this back in. Yeah, that should be fine like that. And then just slide it back in the way it came out. Watch that cable there. And that's a speaker or something. Move that connection there. But make sure it's all sitting properly. There we go, I think that's about right. That's not coming out now. Yeah. That then goes, I think it went the other way. I think it was that way round. And then these ribbon cables go in this little groove here. Just to tidy it up. There you go. That's right, yeah. Something like that. And then I think we've got screws that have got arrows everywhere. Right, okay. Just make sure that's sitting. So there's a few screws I've got to put back in. Got to follow them. Got to remember which screws go where. The little ones with arrows, you can actually see most of them. That looks like a big screw away from this thing. No, that's too big. Need a thinner one. This one. That one. Yeah, that one's got one. That one's got one. One there. So just have to follow these little guides. Quite a few of them actually. One here. They're everywhere. Quite a few of them. Is that going there? Yeah. And then I think I've got two here. Quite a few of them. No, that's big. We need the little ones. They're all colour coded as well. One here. Everywhere. Right, we'll miss that one because it looks like that's just where the case goes back on, I believe. There we go. As we're doing that, I can see all the ribbon cables now. Yeah, because that's the one that was loose. See that one, can see that one. Yeah, that's all cleaned out. Yeah. Just a few more of those. I've got one more there. One there. Just go over these connections again. I think there's one there, yeah. I think I saw that one. Okay. Okay, I think we'll leave that. Okay, now that those are in, we're starting this connection here. Right, yeah, this is a bit awkward. I'll go a bit of dust in there. We'll get that fan back on. This little thing here, we'll try and get that back in. Before I do that, I need to work out which way. I think it was that way round, wasn't it? Yeah, it was that way round. Yeah, goes that way. I've got some screws to hold that in. Yeah, let's tidy that up. It's a bit gunky on the other side. This needs to go, tuck that in there. There's 4 screws holding this plate in, and don't forget the connections there. So we're going to connect that back up. Oops. Misplaced it on my fingers. Okay, done. And reconnect that into that connection there. There we go. So you should have something looking like that. There we go. That's what the other side was. But when we pulled it apart, we found out that this connection was loose like that. So we'll replug that in shortly. Right. Okay. get these connections back in. Right, we need to go this way. I believe this cable was going this way. And this was going this way. And that goes back in there. In that connection there. Somewhere there, I believe. I think it was there. Not too sure if it was. There we go. And then this cable, where does this go? Here. That goes here. Doesn't look too bad actually. Okay. Just wondering, did that go tucked underneath here? Just wondering. Yeah, because it was all ribbons, cables everywhere. Trying to get it back in is another story. So yeah, this is going to be awkward to try and squash it back in. Let's get the back plate back on. Right, hang on. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Just make sure I'm not caught on anything. Okay, yeah, that looks okay. Right, let's reconnect these ribbons on this side before I start tampering around with it. That's you. This one goes in this little corner here. Back in there. Just need to tuck that in. I have to have it like that for now. Let's see if that's done anything. Then we'll flip this over. Let's try and get this connection back in. That was loose when I opened it. So let's try and get that back in there. Get back in that corner. Cool, that's very tight actually. Can I get that little corner pushed in? Right, I think we've got that back in now. Yeah, I think we've got that back in. That connection there. There we go, viewers. That one there. Because remember on the last video, that was the one that was loose, and that's where the intermittent fault was. So now we've got to find the other ones. Must not pinch this too much. It's moving back a little bit. Let's just pinch it from this tight space here. Go back. You go in there. That's that connection there. I just need to get to this little tiny one and we're back in business. There we go. We're back in business, people. Back in business. Let's rewire that one. I think that's it. Let me just make sure that. There you go. That's that one I've just done. So hopefully this should sort the issue out, that one there. Right, this job done. Right, now we've got to put this all back together again. What fun and games this is. Because this needs to go back somewhere over here. There you go. Just screw that back in. Let's make sure that screws back in that corner. Oops, just fell out. Right, I just need it against the wall for a second. Just get it against the wall. Sorry about that. Yeah, just need it to lean on the wall so I can actually get a good fix on it. Get it to hold still. Yeah, and those are the wires to go under over here. In the meantime, I just need to get these screws back in this corner to hold it. There's one. I need that bulky one. That goes back in that hole, I believe. I won't plug this in just yet. But we'll rewire it and then we'll plug it in and hopefully this will work. Right. Now this is the next task, to get all of these wires back in the order. Right, this is going to be fun. So that one goes there. There you go, mate. You go back in there. Then this silver one goes back in the same place. It's very tight here, very tight. It's very tight cable in here. This went. Yeah, I need to push it in. Where's my screwdriver? Push it in, pinch it in. It's very tight there. Very tight. It's good that these cables are not ripped. So then this one goes back here. Can't separate them. God, that's a pain, isn't it? Right, let's plug it in first and then we'll push it in. And that one goes there. Make sure that's tight. Yep. Right, let's tidy this cable up, shall we? That goes in there. It's very pinchy there. I need to tilt it at an angle just to squeeze in this narrow gap. There we go, I think that would tidy it up. Let's squash you in that corner. There we go. Right, these cables now. That one goes over there. Oh, it's getting tangled. You go over there for the screen. So that goes into this channel, I believe. You go in there. You go back in there, mate. You go back in there. Oh, God. You get tucked underneath. There you go. There we go. So remember, in this centre, it was really mucky and dirty. Now we've got to just get this. I think that's the Wi-Fi modem connection just there. I've got to put them back in their colour order. So this is going to be fun. Right, let's get that back in. So I think it was black, white, grey. I think it was. Are these all numbered? No. Okay, let's just tuck those in. They're all the same length as well, which doesn't help. Okay, so you have to go underneath there, through there, through there. Right, one cable at a time. Bend that one and just put this pin back into place. Which way is that pin? Upside down. Oh, great. Go over there for a second. Oh, don't move, don't move. There. Yeah. Trying to get this in the right way. Trying to get it back in the way it was is not easy. Right, there's number one. You go back in there. Let's just tuck you in. Number one, back in. Okay. I think it was black, grey, white, I think. Oh, God. This is technical. Got to feed this next wire through. So thin as well. Get in that gap, or is it all going to come out? Get off, get off. Just go under that connection there. And then I think this one, you need to go to, which is just there. There you go. And then the next one is just tucked in that corner. Very tight there though. Very tight. That's 2 out of 3. Oh, it's a very narrow gap there. As you can see, it's very narrow there. Very narrow. Oh, God. Then we'll be ready to fire this thing up for the first time, and hopefully that would have sorted it. Right, let's go again. It's all fun and games. And hopefully that CD player that's here will stop making that awful racket. That that kind of sound. So yeah, we'll see if it develops another fault. If not, we'll find. Oh my God. This is mayhem, this one. That goes there. Just tuck it in there. Oh no, I've got to hold it now. God, does not help. Go through there. Go, oops. We'll tidy that cable up in a minute. Come on, grey one, play ball. You have to get in that corner as well, and you can go back in there. Get out the way. Number 2, get out the way. Oh, come on, just move at an angle. Can't quite see what's going on there. There's number 3, I believe. Has to be flush. There we go. All 3 are plugged in. Right, let's get this cable wrapped in there. I think that goes in channel 3. It's not going to sit properly, that's the only problem. This needs to go in there. Go through. Oh, you came off, you idiot. Oh, man. Come on, give me a break. It's so tight there. Right. Just that cable there. do that. I think we'll leave that. Now that all three connections are in, I think we'll leave it there so it's a bit bright there. So now we've got to fire this thing up. So let's see what happens. So I believe all of this is reconnected apart from the one connection that is here. That's that one. Cool. There's just one connection missing. That must be a board option. Now this connection needs to go, I believe, on here for the hard drive. There you go. Just squash that down. Get out the way of that. Right, that looks all in so. Right, so there's the hard drive connection just there. Hopefully this will work. Right, there we go. Let's put this back together again. Stay there, camera, please. Thank you. Right, and then that goes on there, so that's fine. So any other connections here? Then we'll put the lid back on, which is this, and then we'll turn it over, and then we'll put the keyboard back in. Piece of paper in my way. Out gently, push that cable back in, goes underneath. Oh, you get off me. God, why do you have to put something so close? I have to put it through there, do I? Oh yeah, I do have to go through there somewhere. The connection. Oh, this is very tight in this narrow space. Look at that, that's very narrow. Oh, can I flip it? No, I can't. That needs to go underneath like that. No, didn't grab it. God, that's so tight there. Yeah, it's right at the bottom. Tight. When you get things out, you can never get it back in. Grabbed it? No. There it is. It's just there. Oh, come on. Tight there. It's under there, I can see it. No, don't push that pin back in. Give us a second, viewers. Give us a second. There you go. Now I've got that. Right, that goes under there. Like that. And then we'll put memory back in. Right, so one goes we go, now we've got it back in. Okay. So just to recap, what we've just done is we've just put everything back together. As you can see, this is where the mucky area was. There we go, this was all mucky, so I've hoovered all of that out. And remember, this was the connection that was loose when we got it. There we go. Now I'm just going to put the back plate back together as it was. There we go. So then we got the memory. There's 2 gig there. We're just going to put a hard drive just in this little slot here. First, I just need to put the adapter connection back on. This plate here goes that way. So we just need to be careful with this ribbon. If it goes that way, yes it does. There we go. I need something to hold that in place. So let me find this screw head. A big screw in it, or a small screw. I think it was a small screw, hang on. There's so many tiny cables. I think it was a small head. Anyway, let's have a look. Let me just push that back in. This is just a temporary fix, just to hold it in place before I do anything. Just hold it. Just hold it in there for 1 second. No, that's not the one. Just hold it there for 1 second. Just hold it there. Right, that's in there. Put that in the wrong place. Hang on. Short screw, that needs to go just back there. There you go. Hold there for 1 second. Now, I remember rightly when I last did this. There we go. So one's the master and one's the slave. So yeah, we'll get that back in now. Hopefully that CD player will shut up as well. Hopefully it'll shut up. Right, let's get that CD player. I think it goes in that way. Perfect. That's the CD player back in. I've got some screws just there. Goes in that way around. Right, we'll leave this all loose. This battery doesn't charge. There we go, got it all back together. So we put the memory in, hard drive back in, and battery. Moment of truth. Does this work? If it does, we've saved it. Hopefully that's the right one. If not, I'll go to the next one. Oh. Let's flip you over. Right. There we go. Let's just put the cable back in. Right. Power. Let's see what you do. Right. Right, we've got power. Okay. And we've got the power switch just there. Right, let's see what happens. It's on. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, hang on. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay, so that didn't work. Oh, hang on. That's done something. Hey, there we go. Right, escape. There we go. What was that about? Oh, there we go. Voila! Piece of cake. So it's something about that CD drive. Yeah. Something about the CD drive. Okay. You can shut up, mate. Okay. We can hear the fan on that. Okay. Okay, that's all good. Seems to be working. Okay. Let's turn it off and put it back on again. It's probably a loose connection there, yeah. That CD player is really annoying, that. Something about the CD player. At least the hard drive works. You can go. It's definitely trying to breathe. It's taking a while to turn off. Okay, let's try that again. Right, okay, so obviously something is going on with this. Great, it worked. Okay, so obviously it's got a problem with this. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's turn it off and put the CD player back in. Okay. Right, let's put that back in. See what we think. Just makes that awful noise. Now it won't start, see? Now it won't start Windows. So if I take the thing out, it works. So I think we'll get rid of that then. So obviously something is going on with the CD player here. Everything else is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Right, let's see what would happen if I take the CD player out. Because that's got a fault, it's detected that. So let's see. Let's see if it is that. You can hear it on camera. Right, let's pull that out then. Pull that off. Well, at least we sorted it. But yeah, it was the CD drive that's faulty. So we'll just pull that out. I wonder if I can just hide that. No, I can't. Right, so yeah, let's take that out. And make sure it's not fussy again. Make sure the hard drive stays there. It's got a massive hole there, so we'll leave it. Put that back into power. So it's saying that this is faulty. So we'll go again. There you go, it sorted itself out. Perfect. Without that, it starts Windows. There we go. Result. Fixed. Okay then, viewers, subscribers, that's